Ladies and gentlemen, seekers of truth and knowledge, welcome to an experience that will take you on a captivating journey beyond our world. Today we have a special treat for you as we sit down with the renowned Andromedan Contactee Alex Collier. Prepare yourself for a rapid-fire question and answer session that delves into the depths of cosmic wisdom and unveils the mysteries of the universe. As always, please remember to like this video and share it with your friends and family. That way, it gets seen by more truth seekers. Also, remember Alex hosts a live webinar 3 times a month on a Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, so be sure to visit the link in the description for more information. But for now, here are today's rapid-fire questions and answers.
I noticed, says Kit, recently that the AI are reading our thoughts, not just listening or tracking what is searched. Do you know if the quantum AI has been activated, or is this something new from the nefarious ones? It is getting more weird. I'm noticing many things disappearing, like items, people, orders I placed, etc. Do you have any input on this?
Well, I'll tell you what I think it is. I don't know if you remember a few years back, there was a gentleman who worked for Google, and he came out and he released information that the Google AI was sentient, and they fired him. They dismissed him immediately for saying that. I believe that that's what's running in the background. I'm quite frankly not worried about that, because if it's running, it's because the White Hats need it to run, because there's information and back doors into places they need to go that they otherwise would not maybe have easy access to. And one of the things that you do, and again, this is Sun Tzu, is you do not help your enemy take himself out. You allow him to do it himself. And the Dark Hats and the Cabal are falling all over themselves because their layers of protection have been stripped from them. And they've abandoned them completely. And I told you this years and years ago, that when the middle management realized that they were going to be terminated and extinguished along with the rest of humanity, they basically told the Cabal, go F yourself. And they jumped. They jumped to the other side. They had limited information, but they knew the structure. Now, the AI system is going in depth to what that structure is and just how deep it goes. So the minute they don't need it, the Alliance will shut it down. Okay, it'll be gone. So if it is running in the background, which it probably is, it's for a very, very good reason. Because they can't shut it down themselves, because that's literally all they have left. That may be the last move, frankly. That may be the very last move for them. And that's probably why they haven't shut it down, is because they're using it to game scenarios to find out if there's a way that they can win this. And they obviously haven't gotten the right answer yet, because they haven't made their move. So we're close nonetheless. We are.
That in 2028 will be a solar flash that will change mankind into 5D. Any thoughts, Alex?
I'm not sure that that's how it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be an outside thing or if it's going to be the inner sun of our planet. which is in the hollow earth, the spherical hollow earth, where a lot of energy is being stored and is building, as well as consciousness. I don't know if it's going to be from without or from within. And look, it's going to happen when it's meant to happen. If this is a natural event, something that has been destined by Creator, by Source, then so be it. Then all the Alliance has to do is just wait for this event and continue to help us. And when that happens, step forward to help us acclimate to our new dimensional realms. I do not believe it's going to be the majority of the population is going to go jump from third to fifth. We will move through fourth first. And the reason for that is we're taking our physicality with us. I think the human bodies that we have will need to adjust to fourth, to the frequencies of fourth, and also go through a serious detox and a healing before we can jump into fifth. My experience with fifth only occurred because I was wearing a biosuit, where biotechnology was being used. If they were to turn that off, my body would have just disintegrated. And I believe that would be the same for everybody else who's been here. Earth has been a very tough school on all of us. Even if this lifetime is a walk in the park, previous have not, I'm sure. So there has to be an adjustment time and a period of healing and acclimation to dealing with new frequencies. And that's literally just how I see it, based on my own personal experience. I don't think it's going to be this. I just don't see it. And, the Earth herself, how can she possibly jump from third to fifth without going through a healing herself of the wars and everything that's happened to her as well? In many ways, our lifetimes here have mirrored her experiences as well. So most of which we don't know because they've hidden the history from us.
Last week, you mentioned that the course of history was changed when JFK was assassinated. Can the same be said when General George Patton was taken out at the end of World War II? Thank you.
On a grand scale, I can't honestly say that I do know if there would have been that much of a change. I do know for a fact that the war with Germany could have ended months and months earlier had he be allowed to just continue going to Berlin, which he would have done successfully, because most of the German army at that point was stuck in Russia and they had no fuel, so there was no way for them to get back to Berlin. But politics got involved, as it always does. And you have to also understand that it wasn't just politics. The funding of the war was being done by central banks. And you can't have war without money. And you don't get money for nothing from the Rothschild central banking system. There are always tangles, there's always ties, there's always attachments, and there's always an agenda. So, and that's not something that's talked about a lot. And there are also American banks that were financing the war as well, just making money from nothing. And creating the outcome they wanted, which was control over others. You know, the central banks financed both sides of the war. So just remember that. Remember that. They were financing both sides of the war.
I remember you talking briefly our reactions to strangers in a recent webinar, and I've wondered about this for a long time. There are some people I immediately like or dislike within seconds. Some people seem so familiar, as if we already know each other, while others have such a bad or evil vibe I can't get away fast enough. Do you think this reaction has to do with genetic memory? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
I think some of it can definitely be that, but it's also resonance. It's also resonance. It's frequency. And you have to remember we're all holographs, and we are all color, light, and sound. And our souls carry a resonance. And when you meet someone that has a resonance that is directly opposing your own resonance, you have to honor that. And you know, you have that wisdom for a reason. Okay? Now, your heart is always going to be wiser than your head. That's why it's always important to pay attention to that. Now, sometimes that will change over years. It could be that you knew someone when you were a kid and you're like, oh God, I can't stand them. And then you meet them decades later and they're a very different person. And you don't have that same reaction. Well, that clearly means they've evolved. And so have you. And then at that particular point, you have different options to explore a relationship with that person or not to. But when you get that opposing, that absolute dislike, it's usually a wise idea to love them from a distance, if you can love them at all. Okay? But certainly, whatever it is, to do it at a distance. And that's your own inner knowing. I operate that way a lot. A lot. And it's never not served me.
What will happen to Social Security and people's retirement when the financial system collapses? And funeral plans?
My understanding is that those on Social Security will will still continue to get what they paid into it. It will, of course, be dramatically increased because, as you're aware, everyone who had a birth certificate, their life was traded and money was created on behalf of their birth certificate. It became a bond. Well, everyone will be entitled to that money, and it will start with those on Social Security. Their pension will go to, I think, a base minimum of $5,000 a month, and then it will increase over time, including huge injections of cash based on their bonds. And all of that money will come from the assets that the deep state and the fiat central banking system stole from humanity. That's already built into Nasara Jasara. And I know there are people who say it isn't real. You have no idea what you're fucking talking about when you say it isn't real. Okay? And this is me saying it. You don't know what you're talking about. This move has been planned for quite some time. No one's going to starve. It's going to be replaced by something that benefits all of humanity. How can you have a spiritual evolution and a jump in consciousness without doing something like this? Without taking people out of survival? You can't have one without the other. We will still have a monetary system for a period of time until we understand how to live without one. Guys, we're going to be okay. It's just going to be ugly and it's going to be bumpy. People will be taken care of. In defending each other, will we remain free? Do you think the Alliance and the White Hats don't know that? Of course they know it. We just got to get it. We have got to get that with each other. We are not the enemy. The enemy was underground and on the moon and in our elected political offices. That's where the enemy's been. Right in front of you. The sooner everyone gets it, the sooner this is done.
Thank you for all you do. My question is, what happens to the handicapped people who can't make the choices for themselves? I have a brother who has a mentality of a 5-year-old and had to get the shot because of where he lives in a care facility. He's my earth angel. Much love to you.
Okay, just because they can't express it outwardly, that doesn't actually mean that their mind doesn't comprehend. There is technology. It exists in black projects and off-world that can read the mind of anyone who's mentally handicapped. There's also technology where the soul can communicate. Everyone will have their say. They will be taken care of. There may even be a way to turn their handicaps around. 30%, 50%, 100%. So don't give up hope. You know, no one's going to be, everyone has value. Every single person has value. And we have to remember that. And we cannot give up hope on protecting and defending each other. We just have to do this. Because everyone is an extension of ourselves. Okay, we have a symbiotic relationship with everyone here, whether we like them or not. Okay, you can still love them from a distance if you don't like them. Your angel should be taken care of. This is why we have to get rid of this system that we're under. Because it's dark and its agenda was to control and manipulate and then terminate. That's why this whole system has to collapse. And it's all been driven by the central banking fiat system, monetary system. When that collapses, the whole fucking thing goes with it. And as hard as it's going to be, ladies and gentlemen, it has got to be flushed into the sewer as soon as possible. because it's dark. We have no idea the damage it's done yet. And that it was designed to do that. It was designed to hurt us, to enslave. That was the sole intent behind the whole thing.
Alex, many years ago, you talked about how we used to have green pigmented skin. Must be the vowels. And at some point, that all changed, atmospheric conditions. At the sake of being controversial, you went on to describe that there was something that made it easier for those with darkest skin tones to be able to connect to source. Is this why certain nations have been targeted with such extreme poverty? I can't
Yes.
help but think about the Native American Indians and parts of Africa.
Yes, that's exactly right. They were genetically stronger. They are genetically stronger. So they've been targeted. Plus, their extreme of emotions was much wider. And their sense of self and their connection to the earth was profound, which meant they had a much deeper spirituality. They were not going to be easily controlled or manipulated. So a physical attack had to go on and attach to them. Um, and contrary to the woke history, every single culture on this planet, every single colored race has been enslaved. You need to know that. Okay? This is not a white issue. This is a deep state cabal reptilian motherfucker agenda. That's what this is. And I hope I said that clearly enough for all of you. This is not a human issue. This was a control issue from other off-world races that came in and needed to suppress the spiritually awoken races first, so that we would all fall into dominoes, into materialism. Now, the reason we were green is because we had a higher copper content. Why would that be? Because our physical bodies were engineered on Mars first. Then we were brought here. You understand? That's why our biological clock is perfectly in sync with Mars, not Earth. That'll come out. That'll come out. Okay. I think there's several people who have actually tried to go there in the past. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're still one race. We still now inhabit this race here together on Earth. None of that really matters in the grand scheme of things. It's information, but it doesn't change what's happening now. Now we have to stand with each other. Now we have to understand that each one of us is not the enemy. You've got assholes, no doubt about it. And they got to get it figured out, or they need to be removed from the equation as well. But we have got to stand together regardless of our races, regardless of our creeds, which was all learned behavior and taught behavior. We have got to come to the understanding that we are one race now, a human race. And if we defend each other, we can continue to remain free. I'm never going to say that enough until everybody gets it. It's not okay that one group is enslaved and one isn't. No. It's all or nothing. And with the monetary system we've all been living under, we've all been enslaved. Have no doubt about it. We've all been enslaved. So, there's a lot going on, folks.
I'd
So,
appreciate your reflections on any of the following things to wonder about. Regarding the soul across incarnations, do we make soul agreements with others to allow each of our soul agendas to unfold? Is there a theme that runs throughout incarnations? Is there a primary soul trauma that ripples across lifetimes and causes that theme? Even though our souls know at some level that it's all a game, do we create the perception of separation from God?
that is a really, really great question. I think that question, relative to the Earth incarnation experience, is vast. I do not know that question would apply on fifth density or higher, just because of the nature in the balance of light. There is far more light than there would be, or positive field than negative field, far more. It may be relevant in fourth density, but it is really relevant in third density. I would say that we come in with an agenda. We incarnate with an agenda. I also believe that we incarnate most of the time within our own soul group, and that we trust those souls to assist us in learning and experiencing the things that we put on our agenda. However, this physicality, the third density reality we have, or holograph we have on Earth, has been invaded. It has been manipulated. It has been controlled. And it has been hybridized and sold off in pieces to other dark energies, which probably would never have had access to this holograph had it had not been invaded. Now, and this is how I personally feel about it. Now, on the other hand, it could be that we all agreed to this in order to lure the dark forces here by giving them easy access to who we are. So it could go both ways. But what keeps me from actually, now I cannot rule that out, that we all agreed to this. But when I see people and I see how their souls have been tortured, and how the lifetimes of incarnating here has caused such hardship, so many scars, so many wounds, and I see how children are traumatized, it is hard for me to reckon that we all agreed to go through those type of experiences. And it's become harder for me as a parent to justify that we all agreed to this. Every single thing that happens to us. And what complicates it even more for me is the fact that now we are in an ascension protocol and we have all this intervention to make sure that humanity jumps, as opposed to us all agreeing to be genocided by a bunch of psychopathic, homicidal, fucking maniacs. So, that was as clear as mud, wasn't it? That was as clear as mud. But there you have it. Like I said, I don't know everything.
He asked for reflections. Tom asked for reflections, so there's some musings from Alex there.
There you have it, fellow truth seekers. An enlightening and exhilarating rapid-fire question and answer session with the remarkable Alex Collier, sharing his profound encounters with the benevolent Andromedan extraterrestrial beings. As we continue our cosmic journey, let us embrace the wisdom of the Andromedans and carry their message of love, unity, and compassion with us. Together, we can create a world where humanity stands united, ready to embrace the wonders that await us in the vast expanse of the universe. If you found this rapid-fire question and answer session fascinating, hit that like button and share this video with your friends and family. Subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on more captivating content like this. Thank you for joining us on this incredible adventure. Until next time, may the stars guide you on your path of enlightenment and exploration. And remember to always seek knowledge and stay curious. If you want to get the latest information from Alex Collier, we host a live webinar 3 times a month on a Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information and dates of upcoming live webinars, please visit alexcollier.org. Please click on one of the above videos to seek more of Alex Collier's knowledge.